Hey guys, Ollie here. Welcome back to a brand new video. I'm a graphic designer from South London, and today I'll be talking to you about how to start graphic design. The first step to becoming a graphic designer is picking a niche, and a niche is essentially what type of content you want to make. So for me, I'm a brand designer, which means I do things like illustration, motion graphics, logo design, patterns, and packaging design. That's my general scheme of things. For you, it might be very different. You might have two niches where you're pushing two different types of content to an audience, where you have a slightly wider and more diverse audience. Now, the next important thing to become a graphic designer is mastering your tool. So for me, I have Photoshop as my primary tool and Illustrator as my secondary. Now, I do use other software such as Premiere Pro and After Effects and InDesign. They're my last kind of three, mainly for content creation and brand presentation, but I don't use them too often. So why is it important for you to master a tool? Well, when a client asks you to do certain things, they'll require a different skill set. So knowing that platform and that software better than everyone else will give you advantage in that field and allow for you to take in more income and more clients because you know what you're doing more. And they'll leave with more satisfaction rates and a better service. The next thing to help you with your graphic design is by using resources. Now, resources come in different shapes and forms. So, for example, your inspiration resources might be Pinterest and Behance. Behance is actually better because it's more design focused. Or you can have things like assets such as icons, overlays, elements, or mockups. So, mockup design is generally used when you're using branding or trying to display something that you've done so you can give a client or a viewer an idea of what that product would actually look like in real life. So where can you find these resources? Well, I post on my Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, different videos which will direct designers to different websites, which will help them find what is the best suit for them. So for one video, I might have mock-ups, I might do colors, I might do different websites for designers as as a more of a broader theme. But you can find these across TikTok, YouTube. Sometimes Behance has them, but they're just general websites that you can use and find to help you with your design, whether it's ideas or whether it's for displaying your stuff. The next thing to becoming a graphic designer is by using and utilizing social medias. So I like to use free social medias: YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. But I do have a Behance and a Pinterest, which I don't use as often, but definitely help direct an audience into my Instagram, which is my main tool. I ideally recommend two when you're first starting out, whether that's TikTok and Instagram, where you post all the reels from your Instagram or the TikToks on your Instagram, either way round, and it'll just basically drive two audiences into one, and it'll kind of give you a bigger overall audience, which is very important. So who's looking at social medias? Well, firstly, you've got potential clients that will be looking at your work in general and what you post and how often you post and how active you are and maybe what you are as a person. Will be looking at your content to decide if they want to use you as their designer. It's quite easy to bring someone that's just a viewer to become a customer, as if you can build up a recognizable brand for yourself, they'll go, okay, so who do I want to do my graphics? Who do I want to do my motion graphics? Who do I want to illustrate this for me? They might think of you. Who else will be seeing your content? Well, just general viewers, people that scroll past and TikTok, they might remember you, or they might go follow you on another social media, which will basically drive an audience and potentially help you get more money, which is important for designers to get as many incomes as they can, as help spread their business and become more open, and more the likely chance of the explore page or the for you page or whatever is heightened, which is very important for exposure. Finally, the last thing you have to remember, your work will not be very good when you start. Now, that's not to say it's bad, it's just you will improve over time. And it takes, it can take a couple of years, it can take a couple of months to get the basics down. It just depends how hard you work, how often you do your work, and how dedicated you are to researching, to how to do different things. Okay, so that's the basics of how you start becoming a graphic designer. Now, if you want more tips or resources or anything else, check out my social media and I'll see you there.